Early in 1859, Sudan's communication service began when the first telegraph line was launched in Sawakin, followed by the capital Khartoum in 1871 via the city of Kassala. The Public Telecommunications Corporation was established in 1978, which lasted until 1993, when the sector moved to a very important phase, the phase of privatization. In 1994, Sudan's telecommunication company Sudatel was established and assigned to provide fixed telephone service in the country. In 1997, Mobitel was granted the first license to provide mobile phone service in the country, which was subsequently owned by Zain. The internet service in Sudan was started by Sudanese telecommunication company Sudanet at speed of up to 128 kilobits per second in 1996, and the internet service was developed until it recently launched 4G and mobile services in all companies operating in Sudan. It is the communications revolution in Sudan. The telecom revolution called for the creation of a specialized entity to manage the telecommunications sector in the country. The National Telecommunications Authority was established under the Telecommunications Law of 2001 to act as a regulator of the telecommunications sector. The Commission quickly established a good ground for the sector and improved the competitive environment and worked to liberalize the sector. The second license was granted to Bashair Company in 2003, which later sold its shares to MTN, followed by the liberalization of the fixed telephone by granting the second license for the fixed telephone service for the company Canartel in 2005, and then was granted the third license for the service of the mobile phone for Sudani Company in 2006 to make the telecommunications sector more balanced. After the passage of Telecommunications and Post Act in early 2018, the National Telecommunications Corporation became known as the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority. The authority enjoys sovereignty according to the terms and reference stipulated by the law. The most important of these is the regulation and development of communications and postal services to keep abreast of development in this important field, and providing an environment suitable for the growth of the sector and strengthening the role of Sudan in the areas of telecommunication and post on regional and international levels, and ensure access of services to all areas of urban expansion, economic activity, urban, rural, and remote areas. The telecommunications sector witnessed a great leap through the competitive environment set up by the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority. By the end of 2017, the number of internet users in Sudan reached more than 11 million. The number of mobile phone SIM cards reached about 28 million, all of which has been linked with the national number. Geographical coverage of telecommunications: 38% coverage of populated areas, reached 80%, and the infrastructure is ready to receive and develop various electronic services. Most of Sudan covers a network of fiber optic cables with a length of 31,000 kilometers. The network extends to neighboring countries of Egypt, Ethiopia, Chad, Eritrea, and South Sudan. The submarine link connects Sudan to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia via the Red Sea. The Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority has a balanced administrative structure that facilitates the fulfillment of the roles and functions of the organization. The organizational structure of the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority is composed of the Office of the Director General. The Directorate of the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority is located at the top of the administrative pyramid. The structure consists of 5 general administrations: General Admin of Technical Affairs, the General Admin of Planning and International Relations, the General Admin of Communication Services, the General Admin of Financial and Human Resources, and the General Admin of Post, one of the oldest services in the country. The Postal and Telegraph Act in 1910, after the privatization of Postal and Telegraph in 2009, the Sudanese Postal Services Company, Suda Post, became the public postal service operator in the country. The Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority has a number of tasks and projects, most notably frequency spectrum monitoring and frequency assignment. It regulates and manages spectrum with a combination of administrative and technical procedures to maintain this important resource. Communications tower and protection of citizens from electromagnetic radiation, performing the tasks of certification to establish and match communications towers to the technical specifications and the development of precautionary requirements and regulations, and is also measuring and monitoring the electromagnetic radiation resulting in accordance with international standards and recommended limits. Universal services. The project aims to expand telecommunication services and network in remote areas that are economically feasible and provide them with telecommunications and postal services and applications in order to contribute to the advancement of economic and social development. Sudan CERT. The Sudan Computer Emergency Response Team was established in January 2010 on the initiative of the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority and affiliated with the relevant authorities. It represents a national capacity to enhance the efficiency of information security in the country and protect citizens from danger of use, passive communication and information technology, and raising awareness in order to spread the culture of safe use of the Internet. Numbering. With the framework of management of rare resources of the country, the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority manages and classifies the numbering resources and assigns them to the operators under the National Numbering Plan, according to the Communication and Mail Act, the regulation that allows the organization to regulate and rationalize these rare and important resources. Transitioning to Internet Protocol version 6. The team working on the transition to the 6th edition of the Internet Protocol has set a transition plan for the 6th issue in the 2 phases that will complete in 2020. And according to the Sudanese Training Center, has been certified for the training to transfer to the 6th edition in the Telecommunications Tower by the International Telecommunication Union. Quality of service. Within the framework of the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority's responsibility and the desire to achieve the ambition of subscribers, the service work on testing the networks of operators in order to monitor the quality of voice and data services by modern and sophisticated devices. Type approval. The Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority ensures the communications equipment conforms to internationally recognized standards and specifications and establishes technical and administrative requirements for the importation of good and safe equipment and equipment to protect subscribers and networks from counterfeit and non-conforming equipment. Internet Filtering System. In cooperation with internet service providers, the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority regulates websites classified as pornographic and harmful to internet users in Sudan to protect children and prevent harmful substances from users. Number portability. Number portability is a service provided by the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority, which allows the subscriber to transfer from one company to another while maintaining the same number, a service that enriches competition between operators in an effort to win the highest number of subscribers, as well as useful for subscribers who are looking for the best services and lowest prices. Emergency communications. The National Committee for Communications in Disasters and Relief was established by the relevant authorities, where the committee succeeded in drafting the National Telecommunications Plan in case of emergency. Complaints. The Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority receives complaints and queries from citizens and deal with them seriously in accordance with the Telecommunications and Post Law. In order to facilitate the submission of complaints, the call center has been set up with the short number 5050. Complaints can also be submitted to complaints@tpra.gov.sd or by receiving them in the communications tower. Bilateral relations. The Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority is keen to reach strong and developed relations with neighboring and friendly countries at the regional and international levels to exchange expertise and technologies related to telecommunications. The Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority has signed a number of memorandums of understanding with sister countries, as well as executing of executive plans emanating from memorandums of understanding signed at the level of the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology with a number of countries. The Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority and the Ministry of Information signed memorandums of understanding to coordinate frequencies with some neighboring countries, in addition to signing 2 agreements with 2 Chinese laboratories to confirm to the type. It is the Telecommunications and Post Regulatory Authority, which constantly seeks to achieve a knowledge society through a fair competitive environment and with advanced communication and information systems.